All right, FFA, good morning, everybody. As we jump into the last day of March, it's crazy to think that we are already 3 full months into this year. And what a month of March you guys had, definitely setting up to be a new record in the agency in terms of production. And so many of you guys are hitting new records from income to productions to promotions. Super excited to see it. Super excited to see the momentum on your side and on your team side. So phenomenal job this past month. Couldn't be more proud of everybody as you guys ran to new heights. And I'm even more excited to kick off the month of April because I know April is going to be just as big, if not even bigger, as we run to new goals this year. So much exciting things happening here at the agency, and just couldn't be more grateful to have you guys locked in with us as we run to new heights this year. So today's call, we're going to talk about the best way to sell life insurance. All right. Doing this for years now. There's a formula, believe it or not, that makes this sales process simple for you. And I'm going to give you guys that. It's something that I've learned just by doing this day in and day out. And it's something that I just wish I knew early on. And even if you're an experienced agent, promise you this call is going to help you get locked in for this week to have the best week of your career. So let's jump into that. But first, we're going to jump into the verse of the day. All right. This one came from K-Love. Hey, check it out. In between houses, all right, in between calls, toss this radio station on. Just puts you in a great mood throughout the whole day. But verse of the day, Psalm 32:8. The Lord says, I will guide you along the best pathway for your life. I will advise you and watch over you. What an amazing promise that is as we start this week. All right. To know that the King of the world is guiding you along your path and is not only guiding you, but advising you. And on top of that, watching over you. All right. How could you be worried about anything that's going on in your life when you know that? And you know that promise is there to be true. So take that verse and run with it this morning as we kick off Monday. All right. Want to give Aaron Lunsford a big shout out. Aaron was the top agent in the month of February. And as you guys know, if you weren't tuned into the past call, if you become the top agent, you get to pick the charity or nonprofit of your choice to be able to have us as a company donate to for that month. And Aaron took home the top agent spot, and she picked Shriners Children's Hospital. So big shout out to you, Aaron, for that. The donation is complete to them. So super excited to work with Shriners and to be able to just give back a little bit for that month of February. So awesome pick, Aaron. I love that choice that you made. And just want to give you a big shout out for picking that foundation. And we couldn't be more excited to have that donation be complete now and be able to partner up with them in the future. So nice work to you, Aaron. Let's talk about the top 15 agents on the week last week. Someone's going to have to come in and try to challenge Dennis. He's been taking home number one every single week, it seems like, for the past couple of weeks. And people are getting close to him, though. So we'll see if anybody could dethrone him this week. But coming in the top 15, we have Becky and Jenna crushing it like usual. Jess and Jennifer with some big weeks there. Big shout out to Christy with a phenomenal week. Dougie Fresh, you guys got to hear from Doug on last week's call. If you didn't listen to that call, go back to the YouTube channel, click on the live tab, and listen to the call with Doug. Drop some amazing tips for you guys on last week's call. But he had another big week last week. Big shout out to Kelly and Paulo with a phenomenal week. Not only did Paulo go over, I think, 4 or 5K in life AP, but he also locked down another big annuity. So big shout out to him for doing big things on life and annuity production this year. We had Becca putting her name in the top 15. Big shout out to her too. Becca had an awesome week, right? But her team had a phenomenal week. They went big last week. So super excited for her and for her crew of agents as they're running to new promotions and new heights. So great work to you guys. Big shout out to Mindy. She came in with a bang last week, had a phenomenal week last week. Ray, like usual, and Willie, Ray and Willie work alongside each other together. They battled each other out last week. Both of them did great. Big shout out to KZ. Same thing with Kaylee. She was on a call here recently, go back and listen to that one because it's a good one for you to tune into. But she had a big week last week, like usual. She's been on fire lately. She'll be in the running for Agent of the Year and maybe even Builder of the Year. Her team is coming out on fire. A bunch of new agents writing some good business there with her. So nice work, TKZ, leading the way. Then we had Joni coming in at number 2. She had a phenomenal week for herself, like usual. Joni's always doing big things out there. And then coming in at number 1, we had Dennis with another huge week out there. So Dennis, way to take home the top spot there. Top 15, super proud of you guys. So many of you guys are so close to putting your name on the top of that chart. So keep fighting. I promise you, if you're a new agent, you can push your name up there. All right. All you got to do is work hard and you can compete with the top agents here in the agency. So today we're going to dive into, all right, the best way to sell life insurance. Now, I know some of you saw this title and you were thinking I was going to talk about selling on the phone or selling in person, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk about the technique to sell insurance. I'm going to talk about the best way to sell it when you're talking with your client. All right, both avenues, field and on the phone, or even a hybrid approach works great. But guys, check it out. That only gets you to the first step, which is talking to the client, right? But once you get that client on the phone, or once you get inside their house, what do you do from there? Okay, how do you sell life insurance once you're there? All right, the technique gets you in contact. But once you're in contact, the process is the same. All right. The concept is the same. So let's talk about the best way to sell life insurance. Number 1, all right, I want you guys to write this down, is you have to understand your client's need. All right. As you go out there today and you sit down with people and you're talking to them, if you don't find out the need that they have, you will not close anything. Okay. I promise you, you will not sell anything if you can't find the need. All right. Selling is all about serving, and you can't serve if there's not a problem to fix. And I want you to think about that as an agent. If there's no problem, you have no solution, you have no sale. So how do you understand your client's needs the best, guys? It's all about what God gave you. All right. 2 ears. It's to listen. Your client will tell you their struggles. They will tell you what's going on in their financial situation, in their family situation, in their life. What is their need for insurance? Figure out what that is. Guys, if you can be a genuine agent, whether you're on the phone or in person, have a normal conversation. Yes, we've got the sales presentation. Yes, you should follow it, right? But you shouldn't rush through it to the point that you don't find the need. Okay. So whether you're on the phone or in person, that's the very first thing that I want you guys to do, is connect with your client, but connect with them through their need of why you're there. Why did they fill out that lead card? What were they thinking? Why do they need coverage? Why do they need more coverage? Maybe they don't remember and you need to reinvent, all right, that need. You need to come up with a problem for them that they might not even see that they have. All right, guys, there's problems all over the place for you as an agent to uncover. All right, if you roll up to a house and there's some new cars sitting in the driveway, all right, they probably have a car loan on them. That's another need for insurance to pay off the car if something were to happen to them. If the house is there, they refinance their house. There's a mortgage, all right, or a new mortgage, second mortgage. Maybe it's a first-time home buyer, newly married couple. There's a need for the insurance. All right, you have 2 married people, right, getting Social Security. One of them passes away. They don't keep both checks that they're used to living off of, right? They get whichever one was higher. That's how that works. But their income is still pretty much getting cut in half. Now you have replacement of income as a need. These are all things, okay? Cremation, burial, you name it. There's so many needs out there that people don't realize. And if you want to figure out the best way to sell insurance, all right, the best agents come up with the most needs. If you see an agent selling a policy that's got, high death benefit, high premium, you're wondering how they're figuring it out. It's because they're not just selling a small cremation plan. right? They're figuring out all the financial needs. When there's a need, there's a value. When there's a value there, it's an easy sales process. But if you're just sitting down and not coming up with these ideas of what a client might need insurance for, you're really shortcutting yourself. All right. A better agent's going to come into that house or get on that phone and sell them exactly what they need. All right. So the best way to sell insurance is to understand your client's needs. The only way to figure those out is to ask people, all right, hey, Ms. Betty, check it out. For me to help you out the best today, I really have to figure out what is it that you need. So let's talk about some things, right? And you just enter the conversation. People appreciate it when you're genuine. Nobody likes to be sold anything, all right? If you ask the person what they need, they're going to tell you, all right? And so second, best way to sell insurance here, guys, is you got to build trust and show empathy. All right. The key word here is empathy. How do you get somebody to trust you? That would be my question. I want you guys to go to the agency chat. What does somebody have to do for you to trust them? Think about that. Think about your significant other. Think about your friends. Think about your family. Think about if you just met somebody that you don't know, total stranger. What would they have to do for you to trust them? Let's say you're going to buy a new car and the car salesman meets you out on the lot. What does that person have to do for you to trust them? What are some ideas, right? Well, number one, right, they probably got to look trustworthy. They got to look somewhat professional, right? That would be probably number one, is appearance does matter. All right. So figure out when you're going out there, when you're talking to people, what does that look like? Number two, they got to sound like they know what they're talking about, right? I'll never forget, I was going to look at a new truck like I usually do. And I was looking at a diesel truck. All right. And my biggest thing with the truck was I have 4 kids. So I need a flip up seat in the middle, right? And that means a lot of times I can't get the high end leather seats, massage seat package, because they always have the console. They don't have the flip up seat. And so the salesman met me out there in the parking lot and he said, hey, what are you looking for? And I said, hey, I just need a diesel truck, a new one. It's got to have the flip up seat in it. He instantly said, okay, well, let's go look at this package, that package, this package. Every package he was naming was the most expensive truck on the lot, one that I know doesn't even come with the flip up seat. So that just told me right away, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I couldn't trust him, right? I didn't buy anything there. I needed somebody that knew what they were talking about. So for you as an agent, the way you build trust is you know what you're talking about, right? Study those products, study how insurance works, study your carriers. All of this really matters. And guys, if you're a brand new agent, you're not going to know everything, but you can at least know how to do the presentation, right? You can know how to follow that script. You can know the carriers that you offer, how long they've been in business for. All this stuff is simple stuff that you should study up on. So you got to be able to build that trust, right? Think about it. If you met a stranger, what would they need to do for you to think they're trustworthy? Whatever's popping up in your head is what you have to do as an agent. All right. It's the best way to sell insurance is to get people to trust you. The faster you can get people to trust you, the easier the sale is going to be. The longer it takes you, that's when you start getting clients disengaged or hanging up the phones on you. They're in person, falling asleep or watching TV while you're trying to talk to them, right? They don't trust you. So figure out how to do that. Let's talk about the word empathy. Guys, you don't have to be something you're not. All right. If you're not the most knowledgeable agent in the world, that's fine. You can get people to trust you. The number one way is to show empathy towards them. What's empathy defined as, right? The ability to understand and share feelings of another person. When you're talking to them and you're connecting with them, you're asking them their health questions. All right. All the stuff you need to figure out as an agent to be able to assist them. Show empathy when they tell you the things that have happened in their life, right? Maybe you just sit down with somebody and, they've got allergies. All right. I don't know about you guys, but here in North Carolina, if you look outside, it's like a green cloud of pollen. It's like snowing pollen here. Well, somebody that's got allergies probably can't breathe very well. If you sit down with a client, the allergies are bad, talk about that with them, right? Gosh, this pollen's brutal, right? Show empathy. Guys, that's how you get people to trust you. Don't just show up like a robot, check the box throughout the presentation and expect to help anybody. It's not going to work that way. So you have to show empathy to get people to trust you. All right. Another tip for getting people to trust you early is you have to show them things they're familiar with. All right. What do I mean by that? Whether you're on the phone or you're in person, the person you're talking to probably doesn't know you, right? So when you say your name, they don't know who that is. But they do know the state that they live in, and they do know the state that you're licensed to sell insurance in. So one of the best ways to get somebody to trust you right away is to show them your state license. Or if you're on the phone, say, hey, Miss Betty, go ahead and get a piece of paper. I want you to write down my information so you have it. In case we get disconnected, you can always call me right back. Once you have it, let me know, right? My name's Ryan. My North Carolina state license number through the Department of Insurance is blank, right? Guys, if you do that in person, you show them your license. If you do it on the phone and you tell them that, they're going to trust you. All right. A scam artist is not going to be like, let me give you my state license number. They don't even have one. Right. So use familiar terms, familiar things. When you're showing up at the doors today, they don't know who you are. So they're going to answer the door like off guard. Hey, I'm the local agent licensed by the state here in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, to go over the final expense benefits that you requested. They don't know me. They know North Carolina. They know the town that they live in. It's familiar. That builds trust. All right. So think about what you're doing on the phone, what you're doing in person. Are you building trust or are you taking it away? All right. A lot of you guys work in your local areas, right? So you might live on a road that client knows. You might live right around the corner from them. Say that road, say that town. All right. You're going to build trust by doing that. That's how you get people to work with you. People don't work with people they don't trust. Some people do, but they shouldn't. But most people don't work with people that they don't trust. All right. So you have to build that in your presentation, whether it's on the phone or whether it's in person. If you don't have the need and the trust, you're not going to sell anything. All right. So the best way to sell insurance is to do those two things. And the last thing on today's call, simplify the process for your client. Don't make it overcomplicated. All right. Don't make it overcomplicated. I'll give you a good example of this. So when I had gotten out of the Marines and got my contractor's license, okay, I'll never forget, like a year and a half into doing renovation work, I went to this lady's house. All right. And she wanted to change a door. So I pulled the old door out of her wall. And when I pulled the door out of her wall, I noticed all of the wood framing that held that door in was ate up with termites. Like you could actively see the termites crawling up and in the wood. They ate everything. All right. When I showed her that, she was instantly just shocked. Thought she was going to have to burn her whole house down, right? She didn't know what to do. I simplified the process for her, right? I said, hey, look, it looks very bad, but all we have to do is I just have to support your wall from the inside. So we're going to take up your dining room for like 2 days. I'm going to put wood up there. You're going to have to repaint up there. Not a big deal. We're going to knock this wall down, build a new one, put the siding back up, put the new door back in. It seems overcomplicated, but it's not. All right. It'll be done in like 4 days. Very simple. She was good with it, right? We demoed the wall, did everything we needed to do. But what would she have done if I was like, oh my gosh, you got to burn your whole house down, right? You need to switch all your windows, get rid of your kitchen, rip all your flooring out. If I told her every single detail of what I was going to have to do to fix that problem, it would have stressed her out to an amount that she probably would have just moved out of the house, right? Probably would have put the thing up for sale. I wouldn't have a job. She wouldn't have a house. Your clients are a lot like that, guys. That might be an over exaggeration in the terms of selling life insurance, but some of you are explaining every single detail to your client to the point that you are stressing them out. All right. Make it simple for them to purchase insurance with you. They don't need to know every single fine print. Now, if they want to know, by all means, let them read it, give it to them. All right. Go over the, deliver the policy, go over everything. But people don't really want that, right? They like efficiency. They don't need to know every detail. They need to know that you know every detail. And if they know that, they're good. All right. If you called any one of my clients and you said, hey, what do you have for insurance? They probably would say, I think I've got this. I don't really know though. Call Ryan. Ryan's my life insurance agent. He could tell you what I have. That's the kind of relationship you want to have, right? You want to be your client's advisor, but to do that, you got to simplify the process down. Make it simple. All right. Hey, Miss Betty, next steps. I know you said you really need coverage. You've had trouble getting approved for it in the past. Next steps, I'm going to go ask you some questions, get you approved. Very simple process. If they deny it, no big deal. We'll pivot to the next option. Go through the questions. It's simple, right, guys? Make it simple for your client. Don't be the agent that's inside the house trying to figure out, your login information and all. And next thing you know, you're spending 30 minutes just trying to get to the portal to do the application. Make it simple for them. The simpler you make it, right, the easier the decision is for your client to work with you. All right. So if you make it too overcomplicated, you're going to make them overwhelmed. You're going to have trouble selling insurance. All right. So if you want to have the best week of your career, guys, do these 3 things. Understand your client's needs, build trust, show empathy, right? And just make it simple. Simple on you, simple on your client, and you're bound to have a record week this week. That's all I got for you guys on today's call. I appreciate you for jumping in here for this morning's training call. Let's go kick off this week, and we will be back here on Wednesday.